Hi everyone, I'm Sloan from SloanBella.com and I'm back with another channeled celebrity video. This one is a person that is still alive and is part of a very strong musically inclined family, part of that kid music phenomenon that comes out where you've got the siblings all dancing in the same family and singing and going on tour together. And what I wanted to do was bring up the energy around him. And the reason I felt it was so important, I actually came in from running, and yes, it's raining in Los Angeles, and I still go running because why? Because I can. Anyway, unless it's like a freaking blizzard. It's very cold out though. But anyhow, as I was focused on this person, I was actually focused on another person to do a video on, which I've been trying to do for like 3 weeks. I keep getting sidetracked. This one came through really strong, and I thought that I would bring it up because I feel like a lot of people in our society have this particular issue going on that this young man has going on, and it's actually his birthday today. I couldn't figure out why I was so focused on him, but it's his birthday. He's a December 7th, 1987. He's a double Sag, okay? So he is a Sag sun and a Sag rising, and he is an 8-degree Cancer moon. Now that's a very interesting combination because the Sagittarius is so far reaching and so otherworldly, while the Cancer moon on an emotional level brings it right down into, you know, the feelings of I need attention, I need to be loved, I want to be loved in a family setting and circumstance. Now keep in mind what I've always told you about Cancer moon, Cancer sun, Cancer rising, Cancer Venus, Cancer Mars. The more Cancer sign, the sign of Cancer, a person has in their chart, the more abandonment issues they have, because Cancer is the most abandoned, orphaned, adopted, and basically left on their own to raise themselves sign out of all the signs in the zodiac. People are like, no, it's the sign of family. It's not the sign of family. It's the sign of people who are looking for family because their family has disappeared in some way. Now, maybe it's not through their own efforts. Maybe it's because someone had to go to work, somebody had an addiction, somebody died of cancer young, whatever it is. But the Cancer signs in a person's chart show that that soul is learning how to stand independently in this life and choose their family from the circumstances around them that as they are presented, rather than being born into the family. Sort of like what people say, their tribe and their clan and all of this stuff. Cancer is not going to do that. Now I'm talking about Aaron Carter. I'm actually talking about Aaron Carter. And I was actually, when it came out in the news a couple of weeks ago that he had tattooed his face and he was in the hospital with exhaustion, I was becoming visibly angry at this situation because what we're actually talking about is progressive child abuse. From childhood on, we are talking about a child that is being, and who's now an adult, who is being scapegoated because he is reacting to all of the circumstances around him. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? Energetically, let's go at this from an energetic standpoint rather than like a logical, you grew up in a shitty family, you have neglect and child abuse and addiction around you, money, power and control games, narcissism, whatever it is, covert or overt. Let's go back to the energy. When you have a completely empathic and sensitive and psychic child, you will have a reactionary child. So you will have a child that walks in a room who is a barometer for the energy in the rest of the room. And this was the case with Aaron Carter. And I can assure you from what I picked up psychically, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I do not know him personally. I do not know his family. And this is a psychic reading, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this kid is being scapegoated. All of the things that are being said about him and what he does and how he does it are actually things that were done to him. They want him to be quiet. And it's, when I pick up on the energy, I'm in such a hurry to get this out because this kid is actually being shut down. This kid is coming from a family. Keep in mind, the Cancer moon is predominant in his chart. The Sagittarius is striving to be something different. Now, as the nodal axes, which we have currently astrologically in Cancer North Node, Capricorn South Node, and we have the eclipses hitting us, it's a lunar eclipse January 10th at 20 degrees of Cancer. This is all hitting Aaron Carter's chart. It's hitting his chart tremendously. The node right now is at 8 degrees and his Moon is at 10. So this is a connection between him and his mother and his emotions, okay? So that tells me on a certain level that this started to bubble up for him about 2.5 years ago. Keep in mind, Saturn has been in Capricorn for a while, but it was in Sagittarius before, which means it had to come through Aaron's 12th house down onto his first house and come through his body energy. What does Saturn do when it's in your sign? This is for all you Saturns and Capricorns right now too. It erases everything that is no longer needed to keep the psyche up. It just brings you down to bare minimum. So it's like washing all the makeup off your face, taking out the tranny weave, taking off the clothes, the earrings, everything, and basically sitting there vulnerable and naked. This kid had that happen on an emotional level, and that is why he is saying the stuff that he's saying. They are twisting it against him. I can assure you of this. It is classic child abuse 101. Neglect, child abuse. Now, who's doing the abuse to him and who did it, I don't know, but he started speaking it. And the connection between him and his brother is interesting because I know that Nick Carter denies vehemently, and I'm not here to actually get into who's right, who's wrong, but what I can tell you is I believe in the truest sense that Aaron is telling the truth from his perspective and the way that he sees it. There's absolutely nothing about the kid that is lying right now, and the fact that he's destroying himself is an energetic thing. Now let's look at this in society as a whole right now. We have so many narcissistic people out there. I get phone calls day in, day out from people who can't even date, teenagers who can't even date because they have these people out there that aren't telling the truth, that are saying one thing and actually doing another, that are twisting it and putting stuff onto people, making people crazy. You need to speak the truth, even if it means destroying what is the idealized version of your life around you. You need to speak the truth. What's actually going on in the narcissistic world, which is what's happening to Aaron Carter in a logical sense, is an energetic phenomenon. These people, these energies, these human parasites that are running around on the planet, hiding behind the energy of somebody that's trying to tell the truth. They are stealing the persona of Aaron Carter. What is happening to him is he is going inward and downward into a shell. So he's going on an emotional level into a state of depression, what we would call depression. But actually what it is they are taking the life force from him. He's trying to fight back, but they're trying to shut him down. Now this is extremely worrisome for me because on a certain level, I feel like if we're not careful, and I don't mean we, but if people aren't careful in Aaron's life, it's going to cause a chain reaction and they're going to want to shut him up. Within the next 3 years, they're going to want to shut his ass up because he's speaking his truth. There is a certain element to his chart that is both fear and warrior. Fear warrior is what I get. So the more afraid he gets, the more fuck you and in your face he gets, but they've taken his body and shut it down. It's really easy to tell a drug addict or make a drug addict look like they're the crazy one. Maybe they're the sensitive one in the family that's reacting to the barometer of the other members of the family, circumstance or situation, and they're responding because they can't handle the energies that are accumulating inside of them when they try to speak the truth. You got somebody wanting you to shut up. You've got the abuser over here, which I do feel is close in age to him. So I feel like this is sibling stuff. I also feel like this is a family in the entertainment industry that is engaged in practices the kid's entire life. And I feel like the kid woke up. Saturn went through his sign. He woke the fuck up. He woke up. Saturn through your sign absolutely rips your mental ideology about what you want in your life and what you thought was the world you were living in, and it rips the shit out of it till you're left standing on a street corner in your underwear, sobbing with mascara running down your face, going, fuck, what did I think? That's what happened to him because he saw his life for what it is, a moment of clarity on an energetic level. One thing about a Cancer moon is if they are abandoned enough, they got nothing to lose, okay? Nothing to lose. It's called freedom. Nothing to lose at all. And that's what I'm getting with him. I'm getting the sense of he absolutely couldn't stand living in the situation that he was living in. So he spoke it. and they're trying to squash it right now. So Aaron Carter, we're on the lookout. We want to send him prayers. We want to raise the vibration, and we want to stand behind him. I don't care how crazy he looks on drugs, and I don't care how he tattoos his face. That's a Cancer thing. And I'm going to tell you another thing about Cancer. I'm going all astrology on this one. Cancer, the sign of Cancer, besides being the most abandoned, orphaned, and basically left on their own sign, they are a sign that is so sensitive and so like a live wire. So any energy around them just absolutely flips them out, and they can feel it resonate throughout every fiber of their being. So these people with Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, just predominance of Cancer in the chart, will tend to do things to make people intimidated by their appearance. So you will find a lot of people with a lot of Cancer in their chart with a shitload of stuff up and down their body, tattoos, piercings, carrying guns in a holster if we were in Texas, driving monster, huge, big cars, you know, anything to keep you away emotionally. Just push that shit away. Water signs are like that on a whole, but the Cancer in particular is so vulnerable emotionally. They feel everything and they can hardly live, just like Pisces on this planet. Difference is Pisces just, you know, goes inward and basically implodes. Cancer wants to keep you away so that you don't make them feel that way on an emotional level. So they will do anything with their appearance. They will push you away. They will push you back. They will do all kinds of things so that you don't step forward and question them, to make their emotions pop out. Aaron Carter is doing that. He tattooed his face. He's like, fuck you. That's what that is. That's a, I don't care what you think, you're going to take me out anyway, then I'm going to do it my way. He's fighting. We need to support him, because what he's talking about and what will be revealed next year, it's a 3 cycle with him. So there's health issues, which we know from the news. It's not necessarily a psychic thing, but there are health issues with him that are going to come up in the next wave of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and on we go to 3 years. If he makes it past the 3 years, then he, meaning doesn't die of a drug overdose that they try to tell you was because he had such a big problem. I'm not saying he doesn't have a problem. Childhood, keep this in mind, people, and I've been saying this shit since I was a kid. If you have a kid that's a drug addict, you have a kid that has experienced trauma. Nobody is out there shooting up, smoking meth, or doing anything because it feels that good. That's a misnomer. It is trauma on an emotional level, okay? To the degree of that trauma, you know, it could go any which way. It could be that you were bullied. It could be that you were sexually abused. It could be that you were in poverty and mocked and made fun of. The other thing is, you know, it's really easy to say, look, the drug addict died. What are the culpabilities of the people around the scapegoat? Because the scapegoat or sensitive child or black sheep of the family is the one that always gets targeted. Look, they're crazy. Look over there, crazy child. And then we keep the appearance of superiority. What's it sound like, people? It sounds like our society at the moment. Look at everybody in our society. Look at politics, one side, the other side. You, like this. This is all narcissistic behavior, but it goes back to a different level on an energy level, metaphysical. It is vampire behavior. It is behavior of energetic stealing, energetic siphoning people's life force. We have a lot of entities coming onto this planet, and I will do other videos on it, but a lot of people allow deities, call them what you want, call them whatever the hell you want, but it is factual. Ask your friends, ask people who know. Don't just believe me, go around, research it, but they let energy into their body to help them move in a different way. When you let that energy in, it's like letting strangers into your front door. You really don't know what you're letting in. And that energy can start to take over what's going on in your life. It can start to do that. So this is what's been going on in his particular family circumstance. I feel like I have to say that he needs to elevate and he needs to raise his energy, because he's being bound right now. He's being sucked right down. There's a sense of loss. That's why he's getting sicker. It's like being in a narcissistic relationship, covert or overt. You get sick because the other person is stealing your energy. This is what this is about. So we need to bring a truth movement, not the truther movement, but a truth of energy, a truth of behavior. People, say what you mean, communicate. No one's communicating with this young man. He's communicating on his own and in a Sag fashion. If you look at Sagittariuses, they are the ones that wear the purple suspenders. They're the ones that are, you know, quite literally speaking their mind in a strange way. The other ones that will tell you stuff. This kid is trying to do that and can't do that. He can't do it because he's being squashed. So the energy, we need to focus on him, but I am particularly worried about him after these eclipses in January. And if by chance, the way that I'm feeling with his energy, I'm kind of stuck neutrally about what's going on. It's within the next 6 months. I'm talking strictly psychically here. Within the next 6 months, I'm seeing the energy shift with him. He's stable now, meaning they've got him where they want him. In other words, he's not a threat. He's not a this, he's not a that. But once he starts to get better and speak up again, watch for them to say he's a drug addict. Look what's happening, this drug addict, da-da-da, because it's going to be a problem. And if he dies of a drug overdose, remember this, he's not the one at fault. They got rid of him. It is a way, I can see his brain right now. He has a lot of people talking in his head, and it's not from drugs. These are energies around him targeting him. It's like gang stalking. I know that's a modern day term. It's energetic stalking from energies outside of the physical realm on the astral realm that target individuals in order to get them to do what they want them to do with thoughts. So by putting negative thoughts in your head, you tend to react. And if you are at all sensitive, and this boy is sensitive, if you are sensitive, if you are empathic to your environment, you are going to do what the voices tell you to do because you think it's your voices. It's not. It's outside of yourself. That's why you need to be sober. That's why you need to do cleansing. That's why you need to meditate, because this happens all the time. So with Aaron Carter, I'm worried for the next 6 months with him. So I'm going to keep basically hoping that he elevates himself so that this doesn't continue to happen for him, and then he's able to step up and speak his truth. Next year is the most erratic and crazy year, so don't be surprised if things that you heard this young man say actually come into light and are spoken over here. We as a society need to actually step up and pay attention. Nobody's doing that because they actually want to do it. He's trying to get us to listen. We're not listening. Okay, sorry, I was like really amped up. I don't know. I feel like there's a grandfather on the other side, but Aaron Carter wants me to speak that, so I spoke it. Now that one is done. And once again, my name is Sloan from SloanBella.com.